We are now live on the Red Pill Diaries, and I'd like to thank each and every one of you for joining me on another edition of the most powerful platform for truth. We have a great guest today. I've followed her work on a lot of channels. As a matter of fact, um, I was watching her on neutrality studies, and she said something that blew my mind. She was talking about the collapse of the Western world and the collapse of the Western power, and she gave a date that I had been talking about for a long time, and that date was 1914. So I'm going to bring her on, and I want her to introduce herself to you all. It's a treat for me. Thank you, Professor, for joining me today on my platform.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. Great pleasure to be here. Ca- Could you hear me?
A little bit. I can hear you just a little bit.
Let me just make sure my microphone is okay. Settings. Let me just go to settings. I was just on a Zoom call, so it should work. It was working fine.
Yeah, I hear you
Where?
good now. I hear you.
Okay, very good, very good. Yeah, yeah. Because you're also
Okay.
breaking up a little bit. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Some It could be because of the weather. We're experiencing some bad weather right now down here. So it went from sunny to stormy, and we're and it does this all the time on the
Yes. And
panhandle.
just one second. My signal is
But
also looking a little bit
I was
dodgy. I'll be
listening to
right back.
your summation. What was
Sorry.
going on with the breakup?
Sorry. I'll be right back. Give me a
Okay,
second. Yeah.
okay, okay,
Alan, have you turned off
okay.
all the
Let me
internet?
see everyone.
Okay, I'm just making sure
Let's
my
see.
husband is not hogging the internet so that we can have a good conversation. But yeah, continue.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, okay. Yes, I was listening to you on neutrality studies, and you were giving your breakdown of the world order, and I thought it was a very good breakdown of the world order. Could you give the people who are watching just a taste of what you were talking about with the collapse of American and Western power?
Sure. So I'm hearing an echo of myself. Can we
Okay.
fix that somehow? I don't know why
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
hearing that.
Hold on one second. Uh, let's see. Is the echo gone?
Let me try. Okay, yeah, it seems to be gone. Very good, thank you. Yeah, so you mentioned that I put the starting point of the decline
Hold
of
on.
Western power. Mhm.
Oh, okay. I got it. I got it. I got it. Is it better now?
I hope so. It was fine earlier too, so it should be good. Yeah, yeah. So you were
Okay.
mentioning that I had mentioned the date 1914 as the starting point of the decline of Western power, and I would, yeah. There's still an echo. I don't know why. I don't know what's interfering. Anyway, I'll try and continue. So I place the beginning of the decline of Western power at about 1914 for some very serious reasons. Um, Basically, I have proposed about 10, 15 years ago in 2013, I proposed a new approach, a Marxist approach for looking at the international relations of the capitalist world, not all the belligerent powers had caused the war. And so the defeat of one of them by others was not going to lead anywhere. And it did not. The Versailles settlement settled very little. Yeah. It, in fact, laid down the conditions for essentially the emergence of fascism in Germany, etc., and which eventually led to the Second World War. So, so in a certain sense, it is a single crisis of both imperialism and capitalism all the time. But here's the deal. If you think about it, the United States has actually never won a single war. It can overrun Grenada and Panama, but it cannot win any serious war. And it hasn't. So, once again, that has been proven true in the.
Could the Epstein files be a part of what has Trump so unhinged in
Yes,
his
of
in his
course.
policy making?
Absolutely. Yes, I would say that definitely it is in the
Mm.
background. There's, and this will not be the first time the United States government or a US president has undertaken a war in order to distract attention from some sexual scandal, etc. Of course, the Epstein affair is much bigger than a sexual scandal. It is, of course, an enormous sexual scandal, but it is also uh, uh, betrays the venality that we are looking at.
I want to thank you for joining me, and I wish it would be better, but the storm. I'm looking at the notification. The storm will be passing in about 40 minutes. Um, I want to get you back on the show on another time when your schedule permit. Thank you so much for joining me on my platform, and I really appreciate it.
I really enjoyed the conversation as well. Thank you very much.
Be blessed and be safe.
Bye. You too. Bye.
All right. Thank you, everybody. All right, bye bye. Everybody, if you can hear me, the storm should be passing in about 30 minutes. And maybe we'll have a better communication. This came out of nowhere. I just looked down and I mean, the sky turned from uh, piping hot to and bright to cold and windy and thundering and lightning and it's interfering with the connections or whatever like this. But I just got an alert on the bottom of my on my screen saying that the storm should pass in 30 or 40 minutes. Um, please come back. We'll get her back on the platform, but please come back on the platform. At 11 o'clock, we'll have another guest. And then at 12 o'clock, at 11, we'll have Tariq. At 12, we'll have Scott Horton. And at 5, we'll have Helen Beninsky. So we're trying to do a full part. And I may even have a surprise even later if everything falls through after 7 o'clock. So, everybody, I want to thank you all for joining me on the most powerful platform for truth. Remember, as I always say, do right by others, not because there's some material gain to be had or because of some accolades to be had, but do right by others because it's the right, the humane, and the godly thing to do. Because even when no one else is watching you, remember that God Almighty is watching you. As my late, great, and beautiful mother would always say, God sits high on the throne of power, but he looks low at the actions of man. Know that I love each and every one of you who loves truth, but know that the love that I have for you will always pale in comparison to the love that the divine supreme being of freedom, justice, and equality has for you. Until we next speak again, which is in a couple of hours, stay strong, stay true, but above all things, remember to stay righteous. Hey, mama, your baby boy still loves you more than life. Thank you